Hey folks, Eric here from DirtyOldSneakers.com, and I've been using the Garmin Fenix 7X Sapphire Solar Edition for about a month. I was charging it last night when I went out for my run, so I put back on the 6X Pro Solar, and it made me think that it was a good idea maybe to do a comparison video. So here we go. First, I'm obligated to let you know that I did purchase both of these watches for myself, no discount, no nothing from Garmin, so all the opinions that you're going to hear are mine and mine alone. And no one is going to see this footage before I post it. Essentially, you could be the first person to be seeing it on the YouTubes. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like, that would be great. Okay, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. I'm not going to go through all of the differences under the hood. Suffice it to say that they both have 32 gig of memory, can dive up to 300 feet in water, and have about the same smartwatch features like text and call notifications from your phone, different power modes to save or consume battery life, which I'll get into in a little bit. Hey, quick side note, I'm going to refer to these watches by either the 6 or the 7 rather than the full name, lest this video be an hour long. That is saying this Fenix 7X Sapphire Solar Edition or 6X Pro Solar is a mouthful. Okay? All right. They both have the same activity tracking features that include things like the step counter, the move bar, which displays on a device after a period of inactivity and basically shames you into going for a quick walk around the room. An auto goal, which learns your activity level and assigns a daily step count. It gives you calories burned, floors climbed, distance traveled, intensity minutes throughout the week, and True Up, which basically gives you the same activity on one or the other watch. Now, for gym mode, they are virtually the same, with the 7 having the added profile for HIIT workouts. But between us, you can create something on the 6 that does virtually the same thing. Now, for cycling and running, you get the added option to see your stamina and how much is left at that specific exertion level. Now, to see my opinion of the stamina feature, take a look at the first video I did for this watch. I put a link in the description of this video or one over here. Spoiler, I ask why and don't have a good enough answer. So let's talk about the physical watch, weight, size, etc. The 7 without the band comes in at 61 grams and the 6 at 54 grams, a negligible amount that I doubt you will ever feel. That despite the fact that the 7 has a titanium back, which is lighter than the metal back on the 6. Sizes are the same at 51 millimeters by 14.9 millimeters. And according to Garmin, the displays are the same at 1.4 inches. But wait, I don't understand how that can be. Take a look at a close-up of the two watch faces. Look at how thick the solar band is around the 7 versus the 6. If the case isn't bigger on the 7 and the displays are the same size, how can that be? I don't get it. And Garmin didn't have a good answer for me either. All right, so moving on, I'm sure you've heard by now that the 7 has the touchscreen, which I find more of an annoyance than anything. Why? Well, I turn it off during activities, so it's not that it annoys me there. I find that when I have it engaged on smartwatch mode, whenever I glance down and look at the time or something, it's been swiped to one of the glances because I have to pull it out of my sleeve or I just inadvertently hit it. And that's kind of a pain. The 7 has that flashlight safety blinky thing for night running, and I love that. I find myself using the flashlight all the time. I find it a better flashlight than my phone. The safety blinky thing, not so much, but if it's helping runners be more safe, I'm all for it. Okay, what about the meat and potatoes of the watch? The sensors. This is where the rubber hits the road. They have virtually the same, and they include GPS, GLONASS, Galileo. Those are all the satellite features for the different countries. It's got the Garmin Elevate branded wrist-based heart rate monitor, barometric altimeter, compass, gyroscope, accelerometer, thermometer, and the pulse ox blood oxygen saturation monitor. However, the 7 has multi-frequency positioning for its satellites, and that means you can use 2 or more of the satellite clusters at the same time. That means your tracking will be more accurate. And if you live in a city like New York or are trail running under a ton of tree cover, satellites will not only find you faster, but be more accurate. Of course, using multi-frequency positioning uses more battery. So let's look at that comparison, shall we? Here's a chart of the 7 battery options, and you can pause here to read it. And here's one for the 6. Now, they don't match up perfectly, but at the end of the day, the 7 wins across the board. And then there's real-time sync settings with Garmin Connect Mobile. It's a fancy name that means you can set up the data points and the number of screens that you want to see for a given activity on the app. To say it another way, you can choose what you see on each watch face and how many screens you can have for each activity. Garmin was behind the industry on this one too. Coros, Polar, even Amazfit have had this option for years. Okay, so let's get to price. This is something that we can't forget. Since the 7 came out, the 6X Pro Solar is down $50 and comes in at $945. The 7X Sapphire Solar Edition is an even $1,000. Neither of these watches is cheap. There are a few other differences, but these are the major and some of the minor ones. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for sticking around. And if you like the 6 or the 7, I put links in the description of this video. Just know that they go to my Amazon associate account. So I'm going to make a couple of shekels off of each of the sales, but at no charge to you. And if you like this video, I'm obligated to tell you by the YouTube terms of service to ask you to smash that like button below to get it into more eyeballs and up into the YouTube algorithm. I'm also obligated to ask you to subscribe if you like gear reviews, race reviews, New York City Marathon tips, or anything endurance sports related. And lastly, I'm told to tell you that you need to hit that bell so you get notified when I put new videos up just about every week or so. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.